Alright guys, this video is about sexual reproduction. So let's get right into it. First of all, what makes something sexual reproduction versus asexual reproduction? The key difference is in the number of parents. So in sexual reproduction, we have two parents, 1 and 2, and in asexual reproduction, it's just one parent. So asexual reproduction happens when one organism just splits itself into two, while sexual reproduction is the type that you guys are much more familiar with, that we talk about, where two parents come together and a sperm fertilizes an egg and that develops into a new offspring. So a super important difference here also is that sexual reproduction results in genetic diversity, while asexual reproduction creates identical offspring. Because asexual reproduction is just copying the same exact individual over, it's basically cloning itself. Whereas sexual reproduction, the offspring is like a combination of both parents, so there's constantly new combinations of different genetics and different traits. So sexual reproduction happens when two sex cells combine to create a zygote. That process is called fertilization. When we say gametes, when we say sex cells, another word for that is gametes, and that is the sperm cell and the egg cell. So when one egg cell and a sperm cell come together during fertilization, it creates a zygote, and that zygote then develops into an embryo, eventually a fetus, and then it's officially an offspring. So yeah, these gametes, let's talk a little bit more about those. So gametes are sex cells, they're the sperm and the egg, and one important thing to note about them is that they have 23 chromosomes instead of 46, making them haploid. So haploid means that, just like I said, they only have 23 chromosomes because they only have one copy of each chromosome. The rest of your cells in your whole body have two copies of each chromosome. They're in pairs like this. So we would have 1, 2, 3, and 4. But in a haploid cell, in sex cells, there would only be 1, 2. When you think about it, this makes sense because each sperm and each egg only brings half of the genetic material. And then when they come together and form that zygote then has 23 pairs of the chromosomes like we're talking about. So key points in sexual reproduction, it results in genetic diversity because it's not just one individual cloning itself. Sexual reproduction comes from two parents combining their genetics and creating a new combination. So it results in genetic diversity. Number 2, sexual reproduction has two parents, while asexual reproduction only has one parent. And number 3, sexual reproduction is when two gametes or sex cells come together. A male gamete is the sperm and the female gamete is the egg. And that is all. So if you have any questions, please ask us in class. And talk to you later. Bye, guys.